let's have crash course of physics class 12th. This will be helpful to do the revision for the upcoming exams CBSE 2012. If we see the first chapter, we have electrostatics. First and foremost requirement to do revision is you need to follow certain steps. Like step 1, go through NCERT contents. Second, when you are thorough with the content, then you need to go through the basic numericals, questions, and derivations, right? Which means you are now thorough with 2-3 things. Point 1 is the NCERT content you know now. Second is the basic numericals and questions related to NCERT, and then the derivations. So it is good preparation, which means it can take you to 80% and around. Then you can ask, what about those 20%? Where it has gone and when we can score and how we can score. For this, we need to see the previous year's CBSE questions. And when it comes to previous year's CBSE questions, then need not to look into the 10-15 years back question. Maximum you look into the 5 years questions. That will help you a lot. And when these 4 steps are complete, then you need to go through, or better to say, give 3 hours test. What will be the questions? Again, CBSE 3 hours questions, either you download or you must have any question bank. So when you practice like, then you can easily score 90-95% marks in CBSE, right? Now let's start with the point number 1. Point is, if anyone having some doubt in NCERT and the content, for that I am going to give you some highlights. What are those highlights? All of you please see. Like we have chapter 1, which is electrostatics. Fine. When we talk about electrostatics, let us make a summary of the chapter. So what could be the summary? Summary is like, first highlight is the properties of electric charge. Right. First property, which is all about quantization, that is Q is plus minus NA. Q is the total number of charge on a body, N is the number of charges, and E is the charge on electron, which is minus 1.6 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. Then second characteristics is the conservation of charge. Conservation, we know, conservation means the electric charge can neither be created nor be destroyed, only transfer of charge from one object to the another is possible or takes place. Then we can have next, which is known as the invariance of charge. Invariance or invariance of electric charge. What does it mean? It means electric charge is independent of speed of a body. Whatever charge an object has, that remains same or constant. And then fourth one is we call it, if you start it again, the quantization, conservation, invariance, and then third, the additive nature of charge. Okay. Additive nature of charge means if an object having, let's say, plus 10 coulomb charge and minus 3 coulomb charge, then total charge will be plus 7 coulomb. That's it. But generally you get a question which is maximum of 2 marks. In that you are told to make 2 points of properties of electric charge. Then you need to be selective. What could be selective? You select point number 1 and point number 2, which means quantization and conservation. Better answer. Doesn't mean if you write invariance, you won't be getting marks. So this is the very first topic in electrostatics. Now if you look into another aspect of electrostatics, then all of you know that it starts with a law which is called Coulomb's law in electrostatics, which means F is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. We know that F is the electrostatic force between the 2 point charges. This is significant. Q means the point charges, Q1 and Q2. And R is the distance between them. K is called electrostatic force constant, having some fixed value, and that value is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 12. Unit is Newton meter square per coulomb square. Now slight modification. This value is little different, which is 8.85, right? And so on this formula, we need to apply this formula in questions. But we need to modify it a bit more. What is? Like electrostatic force constant K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Having net value is 9 into 10 raised to the power 9. Again, if you try to write the unit, then it is coulomb square per Newton meter square. And epsilon naught is called the absolute permittivity of free space. And this we are talking about the charges in between where? Not in vacuum. When the Q1, Q2 are in air. But if this air is replaced with some other medium, anything like most common medium we have like water. So for any medium the same formula we write F as, or better to say Fm as Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught capital K into R square, which means this becomes F naught upon capital K. So what we see, how the magnitude of force is going to change. It will change by a factor of 1 upon K. Like for water, the value of K is 80. So for same value of the charges and same distance, the Colombian force will reduce by a factor of 80. So this concept must be kept into mind, that if the charges are replaced and kept in a medium, then the force between them reduces by a factor of K, and K depends on the value of K. Accordingly we can calculate. So let us look into the next aspect or the next topic of this chapter. What is that? So we are talking about Coulomb's law. Sometimes we need to write the same Coulomb's law in different forms. The forms are, first it is called vector form of Coulomb's law. So when we talk about vector form, first write the original, like we write F as K Q1 Q2 upon R square. To make it vector, we do like this. Now we write F, which is a vector force. K remains same. Q1 Q2 is fine, we cannot change it. This R, basically we take the magnitude of this force, square of this, and over here we may write R cap. This is general form. But if we want to specify it more, then if there are the charges, and like charges are Q1 and Q2. Now if you want force on second due to first, then we write F21, and so direction is from first to second, so we write R12 cap. Likewise, if you want to write force on first due to second, then F12 vector, and direction is from R2 to 1 cap. So now we write like F21. This becomes, I have written F12 first, so fine. K Q1 Q2 divided by R12 mod square, and then to highlight the direction, so on first due to second, so R21 cap. Likewise we write like this, F21, this will be K Q1 Q2 upon R21 mod square and R12 cap. And then the another aspect of this is writing the same in terms of position vector. So let's write this in position vector. So what could be that? When we talk about position vector,